This is the iPhone 6, a phone released almost 10 years ago. Now that we have the upcoming September event for Apple, it's now almost been 10 years since this has been released. It's kind of weird to think that we actually do have a phone that has basically the same design as the newest iPhone SE. It's been 10 whole years, and lots of people say that technology has changed, and it definitely has, but in some ways, the hardware has kind of stayed the same. Because honestly, when you look at the iPhone 6 and you compare it to the newest iPhone SE, which was released only about a year ago, it really doesn't have much of a difference. There is the antenna bands, but besides that, it looks basically the same. But the look of the phone is really just one thing. So let's do a full review of the iPhone 6 in 2024. I'm gonna give my really quick thoughts on the actual design of this phone, and since I did kind of already talk about how this phone is in terms of its back design and how similar it is to the newest iPhone SE. But the iPhone 6 has a pretty nice design. It's aluminum on the back and glass on the front. Now, in 2014, when this was released, there were some reports of Bendgate. And like everybody else, I watched Unbox Therapy's video, basically bending the iPhone 6. Now, with this iPhone 6, I'm not gonna test the same thing, but I can definitely see how this could be bent. I mean, look how thin this phone is. And honestly, even though this design is being used today, I don't really think this is that great of a design. It kind of scratches up kind of quickly, as you can tell on the back. Anyways, let's move on to some of the more important topics about this phone. I would like to apologize. Yes, I know that I do have a crack on this phone, but yeah, I'm not gonna replace the screen, but I guess it's not that noticeable. It's a 4.7-inch Retina display, and it is LCD. In terms of the brightness, it does not get very bright, and you can even tell we're inside, and it doesn't even look that bright in here. And as you can see, I'm on full brightness. One good thing about this display, I guess, though, is that it does get pretty sharp. It is pretty sharp if you look up close. But yeah, I'm not impressed with the display overall. We got an Apple A8 chip with 1GB of RAM. And on this model, we got a measly 16GB of storage. Now, I would do some sort of performance gaming test, but there is a bit of a problem. So, a bit of a secret, I tried to iCloud bypass this phone, and I did successfully. Which is great. That's great. But the thing is, when you try to open up any kind of app besides some basic apps like YouTube or Netflix, it just crashes. But you know what? I'm just happy that I actually bypassed this phone. But here's what I'll tell you from my sort of limited use using this phone. Generally, you can run some basic web apps, but when you actually start running something more powerful like games or YouTube or Netflix, it won't do as well. But what I will say is that web browsing is just fine, listening to music is just fine, casually checking the weather is also just fine. Taking some photos, it's going to take photos pretty simply. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the performance. I wish I could do more of an in-depth review of the performance, but unfortunately I just can't because I can't run any games. We've got an 8-megapixel rear camera and a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. I'm gonna take some photos and let me know what you think of them. Apple does keep surprising me with their cameras and how they age. Like, the camera isn't amazing or anything, but honestly, for 10 years old, it's pretty good. Like, look at this photo. Actually, this is almost a flawless photo. There's a good amount of detail in the foreground, and in the background, it's this nice kind of bokeh. And overall, I really like it. However, once you actually start going indoors or places that don't have the best lighting in the world, it will definitely start to suffer. And that's where that 8 megapixel camera really starts to show its age. I mean, these are not great. Generally, with a lot of these photos, there's just not enough HDR. For instance, this is a photo of my phone that I'm recording on right now, and it is really dim. There's not enough HDR. But honestly, overall, the camera isn't terrible for a 10-year-old phone. However, it will be totally wiped out by anything newer. Oh man, let's talk about this battery life. We have an absolutely tiny battery, and it is because of that extremely thin design. The battery is going down as we speak. It is at 60%, and I think this morning it was at, when I woke up, it was about 10 a.m. and it was at 100. But like, I really have barely used it, like, since 10 a.m. This will most likely last you about 2 to 3 hours of screen on time, and that is terrible. Talking about a few other things, the audio quality isn't great because it's a single bottom firing speaker. However, I think the calling quality is pretty good, and generally you won't have really any problems with that. So what are my overall thoughts of this phone? Well, I think it has handled pretty well for 10 years. I mean, let's be honest, there's no other phone that could be used like this, like 10 years later. I mean, it's a fully functional phone. However, I think this is gonna be obvious to most people, but if you're asking, is this worth it to buy and use as a daily phone in 2024? No, it's not gonna last long. It already doesn't last long. We don't have any more updates for software. So yeah, don't buy this phone. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe. We are doing amazing with the amount of subscribers. I think in the month of August alone, we've almost had about 50 subscribers just in 1 month, which is insane. So yeah, just keep on doing that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.